So good evening, everybody. This is the 2013 Greater Butler County Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This event began in 1989, and we're pleased to be celebrating the 20th anniversary. I lied, it's not the 20th anniversary, it's the 20th Hall of Fame event. 1989, the math is not good with me. I'm sure I'm going to do a number of things tonight that you're going to remember me for, and I hope they're not bad things. But we'll never know. We'll find out. It's a pleasure and an honor to be your Master of Ceremonies tonight as we pay tribute to those individuals who have demonstrated extraordinary dedication to nurturing and developing the leaders of tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming our 2013 honorees who will be entering from the doors behind you. Our first honoree is Bill Groth, founder and president. I'm sorry, they're at this door over here. See, I told you. Here's Bill. Bill Groth, founder and president, National Retirement Consultants. Our second honoree, John Gaduli, president and CEO of the Hamilton Community Foundation. Kathy Klink, retired superintendent, Lakota Local School District. Dick Niehaus, retired founder of American Fan Company. And finally, Rick Theaters, chairman of the board of Rick Source Clark Theaters. Tonight, we are honoring you five for giving not only of your time, but your talents and your enthusiasm, and also for your passionate leadership in encouraging and inspiring others to do the same. These laureates are not the first. This is the 20th induction ceremony, as I said before, for the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame, which began in 1989. Tonight's honorees join the 73 other laureates who have preceded them. Please hold your applause and join me in welcoming our past honorees who are here tonight. Dick Alderson, 2011, and Patty Alderson, 2011. Dave Ballou, 1993. Red DeLuce, 2012. I'm sorry, I skipped some. Come on in, Red. You're announced. I told you I was going to mess this up. Joe Ballou, 2011. Dr. James Carr, 1999. Mike Dingledine, 2010. Vaden Fitton, 1992. Jerry Hammond, representing herself and her late husband, Jerry, laureates from 2009. Frederick Holzberger, 2006. Derek Howard, 2012. Bill Keck, 2010. I'm sorry, Bill couldn't make it tonight. Jack Kirsch, 2009. Dave Lippert, 2009. Jim Miller, 2012. Jack Moser, 2004. Jackie Parrish, 1996, and Lee Parrish, 2011. Mary Reimer, 2010. Sue Samavisky, 2012. I don't see George. George Schmidt, I do see George, 2004. You've darkened your hair. Joel Schmidt, 1993. Jeff Thurman, 2006. Bob Weigel, 2012. Jack Whalen, 1997. Craig Wilkes, 2010. And Bill Wilkes, 2002. We'd also like to recognize the families of former laureates that are here tonight. Lou Armstead is here in honor of his father, Paul Armstead, laureate from 1999. Steve Lippert is here representing his father, Bob Lippert, a laureate from 1995. And Dan Milliken is here in honor of his great-grandfather, Dr. Mark Milliken, laureate from 2001. Let's hear it for all these laureates. Now I'd like to introduce for you Father Mike Puckey of St. Julie Billiart Church, who will lead us in our invocation tonight.
I invite you just to take a moment of quiet. Probably we've all been busy in one way or another today. And just to recollect who we are and who is with us. Unless the Lord build the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guard the city, in vain does the guard keep watch. O God, from whom all good things come, grant that we who call on you in our need may at your prompting discern what is right, and by your guidance do it. Bless our honorees and all those gathered this evening. Bless those who have harvested these foods and those who have prepared them. Be with those who will pass this evening without the abundance we have before us. Help us to see you as giver of all good gifts and builder of all worthy projects, so that our labor may not be in vain, but might give you honor and glory. Amen.
Thank you, Father. I'd like to ask you all to stand now for our Pledge of Allegiance, being led by students of Highland Elementary School. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In 4th grade, Junior Achievement teaches about the different regions, how products and services can be affected by many reasons.
We learn the 3 types of different resources. They are human, capital, and natural forces.
They told us to think about starting our own business. The successful entrepreneurs know their best traits and interests.
We also found out about the rewards and the risks, how to think about the decisions and make lots of lists.
To be most successful, you must know the supply and demand, and treat customers well and advertise if you can.
Finally, we learned how it all links together. The supply chain is key to making the business better.
Okay.
Getting the materials,
Finding the equipment,
And transporting it to manufacture.
Get it distributed,
then someone goes to sell it,
and someone else will buy.
we can all be successful if only we will try.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Jalen. Thank you, Randy. Alex. Megan, and thank you, Brendan. All students of Highland Elementary, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce to you Carol Lucio, who is the Director of Junior Achievement Butler County.
Good evening. It's my sincere pleasure to be here and to serve as the Executive Director for Junior Achievement in Butler County. I was in Junior Achievement in high school here in Hamilton, and I've been a volunteer off and on for 26 years, and it's my pleasure to serve with the incredible board that we've had for the last 5 years. In fact, a number of them are in the room. I'd like to just take a quick moment. If you're a JA Butler County board member, please stand, and will you applaud these folks for the incredible job they do for our students in our region? We've grown by about 153% in the last 5 years for the number of students that we serve. About 4,000 students just in the Hamilton, Fairfield, Lakota, New Miami, Talawanda, and Ross school districts. That's a lot of students, but it's not enough. We're doing some wonderful things. We have the Paulus Program for Success at Hamilton High School with the Career Tech Ed classes. We have some wonderful volunteers in here who are leading those classes with our Career Success curriculum at Hamilton High School. And I thank you for what you're doing to help teach our young people about work readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. But more importantly, that Career Success curriculum is teaching work readiness. Things like how to present yourself, how to write a resume, how to handle conflict management, all those soft skills that we hear from employers that students are graduating with none of. So thank you for your service and what you're doing to impact our young people. The other thing that we're really proud of that we're growing is our job exposure experience, taking students into area businesses. Last year, we had approximately 800 students from Hamilton and Fairfield who got to go out to various businesses. One of my favorites from last year were the students that got to go to American Fan, and they got to see the robotic arm Steady Eddie in action. It was amazing for those students, and they walked away with an incredible experience. Thank you to the folks at American Fan for being one of our many hosts last year for that. We received word today that we are expanding the program into the Lakota School District for next spring. We're very excited to add another 200 students in our region who get to go out and see what the real world is all about. But that's not enough. We want to grow more. And to be perfectly honest, we don't have enough resources, capital resources or human resources. So this is my pitch to you at this moment. Do what you can, come alongside us. We need you, we can't do it alone, and we thank you for being here tonight.
Carol does an incredible job, and so does the board for Junior Achievement in Butler County. And the job that she's talking about, we're taking schools into job experiences, I've been involved with for a long time. And she's really grown that program to make it extraordinarily special to the kids that get to go. I also sit on some panels of employers who talk about the kind of challenges they face in trying to find employees who are ready to go into the workforce. And we find quite often, many of you are in here who say these things, that the kids are just not ready. When they come out of high school, they don't really understand what the responsibilities are of a worker in the workforce, and they fumble around and scramble trying to make it work. And quite often they fail. Not only are the children failing, but the businesses are failing in finding those workers. And Junior Achievement makes a huge difference in trying to correct some of those faults that they have and get them to the workforce ready to work. So I would encourage you to support Junior Achievement either through volunteer work or through your pocketbook. It's a critical need that's out there today, and the schools only provide the vehicle. It's our job to provide the education. Prior to each event, The potential laureate honorees are evaluated and selected by the selection committee, which includes all the past laureates. This is really a unique process, and those of you who have come to these events in the past know this. All of the past laureates are trying to find people who measure up to the kind of experiences that the people before them have had. And that's, I believe, a very unique experience, and it's also rewarding for those laureates to try to find new honorees. They're chosen by their peers, and the committee members submit the nominations with a biographical narrative, and then the inductees are elected using a blind ballot. So all of this is done in a very, in a way that includes a lot of integrity, and the honorees know this and are welcoming this honor as a result of that process. Our 2013 laureate honorees were deemed the best of this group based on their exemplary record of achievement. Each has a long and distinguished track record of outstanding achievements, and their impact has significantly influenced their organizations, the community, this country, and our world. Throughout their careers, each has adhered to the highest standards of moral and ethical principles and are looked upon as role models for others in business, and they have done this here in Greater Butler County. So now it is my privilege and honor to present the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame laureates for 2013. Here to induct our first laureate tonight are Bill Groth's grandchildren, Alex and Claire Conley.
Hi, my name is Alex.
And my name is Claire.
We flew all the way here from California
To introduce a very special guy.
Bill Groth. We call him Grandpa.
He inspires us to be hardworking and kind to others.
He loves to cook and make things special for us in the community.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
William Bill Groth was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on September 9, 1947. The eldest of Bill and Pearl's 3 children, he began working at the family supermarket at an early age, learning to cut meat when he was only 10. A good student, Bill graduated from Custer High at 16 and went on to graduate from Marquette University in 1968. After completing his first year of law school at the University of Wisconsin, Bill married Jackie and moved to Hamilton.
Bill is from Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee's loss is Hamilton's gain.
Bill immediately went to work, beginning what would become a 27-year career leading the trust departments of the Second National Bank and Key Bank. He finished his law degree at night, graduating from Salmon P. Chase Law School in 1993. During his tenure at Second National Bank, he developed several first-of-their-kind investment vehicles and earned a reputation as an innovator. His success on institutional finance led Bill to take control of his own destiny and found National Retirement Consultants Incorporated in 1997. He was able to combine his legal expertise and knowledge of investments to build NRCI into a very successful advisory and retirement planning firm. NRCI is known for its holistic approach and commitment to meeting clients' individual goals. In fact, Bill has been acknowledged 4 times by Cincinnati Magazine as one of Greater Cincinnati's top wealth managers.
A number of our parishioners are older people who either are single or more often widowed. And on more than one occasion, I don't know how many, when I've talked with somebody who was troubled about their financial security, troubled about whether this was the right thing to do or not, the first thing out of their mouth is, I'm going to call Bill Groth.
Bill credits his loyal team for the level of comfort and confidence each client feels.
Working with Bill has been wonderful. He's very easy to work with. He gives you a lot of flexibility. You learn a lot by working with him.
Bill Groth understands what it means to be a dependable partner. His company's reputation is a reflection of his own actions within the community. Bill's commitment to volunteerism began in college when he worked for Vista in Southside Chicago. Bill has been recognized as a dedicated volunteer for a myriad of organizations since first moving to Hamilton. He has actively served in a leadership position on numerous boards, including the Hamilton Community Foundation, Primary Health Solutions, Neighborhood Housing, and St. Julie Billiard Parish, just to name a few. His willingness to try new approaches led to the development of the loan pool for neighborhood housing and various program investments for the Hamilton Community Foundation, where he has served as chair. Through his hard work, Bill has made Butler County a better place to live. Over the past 4 decades, Bill has volunteered his time and expertise, providing invaluable support to community organizations and causes. Bill enjoys playing bridge, running, and cooking. Perhaps that last one has become more than a hobby. He spends quality time at Jungle Gyms in Findlay Market and spends many mornings as chef of the Rossville Inn Bed and Breakfast, which he and Jackie began in their home in 1997.
He is a innkeeper, owns the Rossville Inn Bed and Breakfast. But the amazing thing is, Bill is also a gourmet cook. So I don't know if people go there for the food or for the ambiance or whatever.
Bill is always happy to host and prepare gourmet meals to benefit various charities. Some of his most impressive efforts have been fish fries and meals on behalf of his parish, St. Julie's.
Just recently, there were 3 of us, the 2 deacons and I, who celebrated anniversaries of ordination. And Bill and his crew did a meal that fed about 350 people.
Despite his volunteer accomplishments and business success, Bill's proudest achievement remains his family. He has loved being a part of the lives of his 4 children, Andy, Carrie, Adam, and John. He has supported all their undertakings and given them the confidence to reach their goals. He enjoyed coaching t-ball, soccer, and hockey, and serving on the boards of the Golden Triangle Youth Hockey and Ursuline and St. Xavier Athletic Boosters. Bill tries to gather his family as often as possible in Hamilton and Hilton Head. Seeing as much as possible of his 2 grandchildren, Claire and Alex, is a big priority. Even on vacation, Bill continues to help his community. The family enjoys putting up elaborate holiday lights with neighbors to benefit Deep Well, a local Hilton Head charity. Friends, family, and co-workers describe Bill as a caring man with a heart for helping others. He never hesitates to tackle a challenge, and his innovative approach to problem solving has made a lasting and positive impact throughout the community.
Bill is someone who cares about people of all walks of life, and does everything he can to help those who need help the most.
I believe the committee looked at people that have donated, people that have contributed, a broad brush stroke, not just in one facet, but in a multifaceted arena to be able to bring success and to be able to foster success in the community.
Bill, thank you for all you have done for the Butler County community. Through your hard work and dedication, you've earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome Bill Groth to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.
Bill Groth.
Thank you. Claire and Alex, that was a great introduction.
You're welcome.
Carol, Jackie, everybody who worked on that video. Not usually a lot of loss for words, but seeing that, it's certainly an honor to be inducted with the other laureates this year, and I want to congratulate them and all of the laureates from past years. A few months ago, I was surprised. Bob Weigel was at my office door early in the morning, and he was dressed up, and I was wondering what's going on here. And he said he was in a hurry, but he needed to stop before he got to Cincinnati. And he informed me that I'd been selected and that Jack Whalen wanted to be with him, but he was out of the country. But I'd see Jack next week, and we'd cover some things. So I thank them for shepherding me through this. Jack spent a lot of time putting the touches on the information for this, and I really appreciate it. Jackie wasn't quite up to physically doing some of this, and he really pitched in and took care of it. I've had the privilege over the last years of working with most of the laureates in this room, and I think that's one of the main reasons that we stayed in Hamilton, was the people that we met and the opportunities we had. I'll never forget the first year we were here. we went to a party, and Vaden Fitton introduced Jackie and me to Grace and told Grace, said, this is a guy who's working across the street, and we would have hired him if we didn't know he was available. So I felt pretty good. And the next thing, he kind of took us around the room and introduced us to a lot of people that we'd never met. And, never forget, that kind of welcome, here in Hamilton, Ohio. And over the years, there were a number of people who really made me feel welcome in the business community. There was Paul Armstead, there was Stuart Fitton, Hunt Parrish, Otis Briggs, and many more. But they got me going. And Don Litzelfeller and Ned Hitchcock hired me and brought me in, and I was pretty, just a law student, and they had faith that I was going to work out, and it worked out well for me. And then Otis, I think most of you know, some of you know Otis as, he could spot somebody who might be willing to work, and he had a board that, I could sit on, and could I do that? And the next thing, well, there's another board maybe you'd like to be on. And, it just went from there, and it was great. And that's another big plus in Hamilton, that everybody has stepped up. So, I really appreciate that and appreciate this opportunity. I had the opportunity to work at 2 banks. The last few years of my career in the banking industry, I traveled 3 states and had 11 offices to cover. And, traveling got a little bit old. And the best decision I made was to stay here in Hamilton and not move to Cleveland and open NRCI. And I had a wonderful group of people that Kathy Ramsey had worked with me all the way from starting at the Second National, the Key Bank, and then NRCI. And Vicki Stallman worked with me at Key Bank, and when I left Key, she said, well, I don't know that I want to start up with somebody else again. She had just kind of broken me in after that length of time. And a little while later, we were very fortunate when we started. Glenn Stitzinger was a client, and he had an office building that had room. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And so I had space immediately, and we set to remodel, and we were remodeling, opening the bed and breakfast then. And so the guy who was doing the work for us shifted and went over to D Street from B Street and then back. But it's been a great time, and I look forward to many more years in Hamilton and working with all of the people here. So thanks again.
Congratulations, guys.
You want this? Okay, we're going to go. Down the steps.
I think I want one of those hugs too. Maybe later, huh? Mike Dingledine is going to introduce us to our next laureate. Mike?
Good evening. Happy to be here. Claire and Alex set the bar pretty high, so I will try to stay up with them. The next honoree first came into my life as a client, one of my earliest clients, and she held me to a very high standard as an architect, and some of my most significant projects in my whole career came from that relationship. I was the architect for the Lakota School District for 18 years. Then she became my mentor, and she taught me leadership not by telling me how it's done, but showing me how it's done. She demonstrated it every day in practice. Then she became my friend, who helped me make the significant decisions in my life, and I helped her as well. And through it all, she's been an inspiration to me. Her willingness to get involved and take personal responsibility for things that need to get done is her hallmark. She really steps up when anyone needs someone to step up. And she did so recently by becoming one of our more effective city council people. And she has changed our hometown for the better, and she's making a difference every day. Public servants aren't really people that I imagine get on things like business Hall of Fames, but she has distinguished herself, and she's an obvious choice to be recognized, and it's my honor to introduce her as our next inductee.
Kathy Klink was born on April 26, 1942 to Harold and Trudy Shepard. Her childhood was spent growing up with her brother Hal.
I always knew she would be a supervisor because She supervised me very well from probably age 2 to 16 when she went to college.
Kathy received her high school education at Taft High School before proceeding to Miami University to double major in English and German. Following her graduation from Miami, Kathy pursued her graduate's education at the University of Virginia, where she attained her Master's of Education in Counseling Psychology. Kathy then went on to serve various roles at various schools throughout Ohio, Virginia, and Maine. Amongst these roles were guidance counselor, administrator, and teacher. She began working at Lakota schools in 1968. Her contributions to Butler County stem largely from her highly regarded tenure as the longtime superintendent of Lakota School District in Westchester. During her time with the Ohio's 7th biggest school district, Kathy built a reputation for herself amongst coworkers and parents alike as the rare person who can excel at both listening and accomplishing.
The first time I remember sitting in her office, I came away captivated by her incredible ability to be an amazing listener and to really take in and understand and interpret what I was trying to communicate to her.
I could always count on her. She would come in the classroom and talk to every student in the room. She didn't care what was on the agenda. She didn't care how many other things that were piled up in her day. She made sure to speak to every person and that they understood everything she was saying.
Kathy has been repeatedly praised for her ability to bring an almost infectious amount of energy to her position at the school district. The excellence with which Kathy executed her job garnered respect and attention at both the local and national level. Kathy received a wide range of accolades, including being named Superintendent of the Year for the state of Ohio, receiving the title of Woman of Excellence and Business Person of the Year by the Westchester Liberty Chamber of Commerce, and being named the Hamilton YWCA's Outstanding Woman of Achievement. Perhaps most impressively, though, for 2 consecutive years, she received the Harvard University Institute for School Leadership Award.
Certainly the word leadership comes to mind when you think of what makes Kathy stand out, but she's kind of a unique leader. A lot of leaders have a vision, they have an idea, and then they go out and they task people to fulfill the things they need done. They dole out responsibilities and jobs. Kathy really sells and promotes her ideas to everybody she's around. So she brings you up with her, and she brings you up to her level of enthusiasm about something, and she really makes you own it.
Kathy retired from her role with Lakota in 2005, but that hasn't kept her from remaining involved with the community. Kathy later became Associate Vice President for Online Learning at Butler Technology and Career Development Schools, and in early 2010, Kathy was named to Hamilton City Council. This is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to her civic involvement. That is, Kathy lends her effective leadership qualities to many educational and charitable organizations. In addition to her role on the City Council, these currently include her role as the newly elected chair of the Education Committee on the Hamilton Community Foundation, her board membership for TV Hamilton Community Television, her role in the Lifespan Plan Giving Council Green Committee, and her seat on the advisory board and chairing of the Education Committee for Baden High School.
I think that's why the committee kind of looked at her and said, wow, she did all this, but now she's even doing more and taking her free time and investing it back into a city that she loves.
In the past, Kathy has found herself involved with many other community organizations, including being a board member for the Butler County Red Cross, holding presidency at the Fitton Center for Creative Arts, chairing for United Way of Butler County, membership on Miami University's Hamilton and Middletown Citizens Advisory Councils, and vice presidency with Metro Parks in Butler County. Kathy also was involved with the Westchester Rotary Club and was selected as their Vocational Person of the Year. Over the years, Kathy has found herself organizing a number of walks to benefit the community, including walks for the American Heart Association and for Lakota schools.
And we were looking for ways to promote energy in the community around what was going on. And so one of her building principals came up with the idea that we would walk to every single school in the entire Lakota School District. We ended the day by walking 27.9 miles.
On this long walk, even more of Kathy's character was revealed.
Kathy, through her whole life, has had a habit of picking up pennies or any coins she finds on the ground, and she calls them coins for kids. And so even at mile 27, we were gingerly bending over, picking up pennies to put in our pockets so that she could put them back in her coins for kids.
Kathy's passion for others has left an indelible mark on the Butler County community.
Most importantly, being president of the Community Foundation, being on that board for a number of years. That's a critical piece of the city of Hamilton.
I have to believe she was selected because, again, she wants to be part of a larger group making a difference.
Kathy, thank you for all that you have done for the Butler County community. Through your hard work and dedication, you've more than earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome Kathy Klink to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Klink.
Thanks. Well, my gosh. First of all, thank you to everyone for coming this evening. I think it's great to be a part of this organization. Junior Achievement does so much for so many, and for me to have the opportunity to meet and greet the former laureates and offer my congratulations to the current ones, this is just great fun. But as I thought about this evening, I thought, what am I going to talk about and where do I go with all of this? And since the majority of my career was spent in education, in fact, almost all of it, I thought that's what I'm going to talk about for just a minute. And let me share with you just a couple of reflections regarding the Lakota School District, because it's really the Lakota School District that taught me so much. And I have 4 quick points I want to mention. They're not unique, they're not new, and I would believe every single person in this room will relate to every one of them. In Lakota, I was taught have high expectations for everybody. Secondly, when you're working toward a solution or you're working toward success, you collaborate and you build those relationships. You don't find yourself over here in isolation or over there in a silo. Thirdly, you really use data and you understand metrics and you know how to benchmark your success and you know how to measure your progress as you move along. Because there may be a time when you need to make some mid-course corrections, which also can be fine to do. And last, when necessary, take calculated risks. In Lakota, we invited the world to be a part of everything we did by design, because we valued, and I'm sure they still do, value interactive involvement. We wanted to hear from the best minds. We wanted to know what people were thinking. So there were a bazillion committees for a bazillion people to really become involved. But there also were times when you had to say, enough, calculated risk, we have the information, pull the trigger, let's go. Those are teachings that I learned from Lakota. Again, as I said, all of you can relate to those, but they transcended into my life personally, professionally, I hope on city council, and I hope in community involvement. Finally, I know many people have said to me over the years, why don't you run education like a business, Kathy? And as I reflect on that and those 4 points I just made, I believe the Lakota educational enterprise is run like a business. And it certainly afforded me many opportunities. Opportunities still exist here in the city of Hamilton, and I'm so pleased that I can be involved and continue to have strong relationships with people like you in this room, because that's where it's at and that makes a difference. Thank you very much.
Our next laureate is being introduced by his son, Mike Niehaus. Mike?
Welcome tonight. I would like to thank Junior Achievement for inducting my dad into the Business Hall of Fame. This is an honor for our whole family. I wish my grandmother was still with us to see her son presented with this honor. She was the biggest influence and always told him that you can do anything in this world with hard work. You could say that American Fan Company was my dad's baby, but he always treated his employees, customers, and vendors like they were family. And with a quality product, that's why American Fan Company succeeded in a very competitive market. For a businessman in Butler County, being inducted into the Junior Achievement Hall of Fame is like a baseball player being inducted into Cooperstown. So Dad, congratulations on a great career. Welcome to Cooperstown.
Richard Dick Niehaus was born on November 12, 1937 in Bond Hill. Dick was the second of 5 children born to Howard and Dolores Kuiper Niehaus. At the age of 3, Dick moved to Finneytown, where he attended St. Vivian's Grade School. After grade school, Dick attended Roger Bacon High School. The school became a large part of Dick's life as he became one of the football team's star players. In fact, it was Dick who scored the very first touchdown in the new Roger Bacon Stadium, much to his mother's delight. It was while at Roger Bacon that Dick met his wife-to-be, Marion. Just 2 years out of high school, in 1958, Dick and Marion began a marriage that after 55 years is still going strong. A double fractured skull in the spring of his senior year prevented Dick from taking advantage of any of the 5 scholarships he'd been offered to play football and further his education. After several years of working for other people, Dick decided to start his own company. It was then that American Fan Company was founded in 1969 from the basement of his home. Dick served as the company's president from 1969 to 2000, when he retired after 31 years of service. The company quickly thrived under Dick's leadership as their product offering expanded with their numbers. In fact, so large and unexpected was the growth of Dick's new company that American Fan Company had to relocate to newer, larger facilities 6 times in its first 10 years of operation. By 1979, though, American Fan Company had found a long-term home, settling in its current location on Sims Road in Fairfield. Throughout its history, American Fan Company has led the industry in innovation, adding digital control machines in the 1980s and becoming the first U.S.-based fan company to go 100% CAD. The business grew every year for 33 years and became international when Wood's Air Movement of Colchester in the UK acquired part of the company in 1986. A testament to the company's relevance and market-driving innovation, American Fan develops and designs specialty fans for the New York subway system. While Dick was president, Dick's employees appreciated him and respected his leadership. Whether it was the dress code, suit and tie for men and dresses for women, or Dick's willingness to sell his own car in the early days of the company to maintain operations, his co-workers knew that he expected each day at the office to be taken seriously. That's not to say that Dick was unreasonable. In fact, just the opposite is true, as Dick time and again put his employees on a level playing with himself.
I can remember some lean years when they had to have pay reductions. Dick's the first one to take some of that pay reduction.
Dick's professional accolades are extensive, including being named the Fairfield Chamber's Businessman of the Year, earning a spot on the Fairfield Chamber Wall of Fame, being named president of the Air Moving and Control Association, and sitting on the board not just of a division of the American Manufacturing Association, but also the Cincinnati Industrial Institute, the Key Bank of Cincinnati, and Society Bank of Hamilton. Dick also received the first Sterling Uller Citizenship Award and has spent countless years in service to the Rotary Club. While a business success story such as this is certainly impressive, it's only half of Dick's story. Equally impressive is what Dick has done outside of the office.
Dick had a good time making his money, and he's having a good time giving it away.
One of the clearest examples of this desire to give back to the community was his ambition to create a strong Fairfield Community Foundation to ensure the growth and development of his town.
He became the first president of the foundation with this group of gentlemen. I would call them visionaries because they saw a need and they wanted to fill it.
Through his years of working for the betterment of the community, Dick's actions have also revealed a passion for the success of young people. Dick has devoted his time and his money to the cause in powerful ways. An example being while at American Fan Company, Dick also always kept the kids in mind, especially when December rolled around each year.
Well, you know, what I remember about Dick was every Christmas, he always had all kinds of Christmas gifts for the kids brought in. And his group would come in the evening, wrap everything up, and then they would go out and pass it out to the families, go to their homes, give them to the kids. He was something else. Dick was a heck of a nice guy, and he was always thinking of the other person.
None of this is too surprising, though, because Dick is always ready and willing to help any person, anytime, anywhere. If you need a helping hand, Dick is the guy to go to.
I became ill about 6 years ago. After I was released from the hospital, I required many months of physical therapy. Of all the people that I know, and all of the people that I considered friends, only Dick Niehaus stepped up to the plate and volunteered to take me to physical therapy every week.
There's no place that this compassion and love is better on display than right within Dick's own family. Dick and Marion are the proud parents of 3 children named Mike, Carol, and Connie. Together, the family has remained a close-knit group. Dick has been described as a class act and a person that radiates joy in everything that he does. His impact on Butler County is incalculable because he has touched more lives than can possibly be counted.
He did things right. He did it the Christian way, which wasn't always the easy way, but he was fair.
I respected Dick.
He started something. He was sort of like Gandhi, you know, be the change, be the change.
People think a lot of him. Dick's got the respect of an awful lot of people.
It was just a true pleasure working with Dick.
Dick, thank you for all that you have done for the Butler County community. Through your hard work and dedication, you've more than earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome, Dick Niehaus, to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.
2013 laureate Dick Niehaus.
Well, you don't want an old man to get up here and babble incoherently, so I wrote some notes down. First, I have to thank Susan and Neil for putting on a really exciting program tonight. This is my first trip to the Junior Achievement. And back in April, we had dinner with Jim and Darlene Miller, and he told me this was a really big deal, but I had no idea. When I was being considered, they asked me some questions about what kind of organizations I was involved in, and I told them, so I didn't know what to expect tonight, so when I started writing these notes, I said, boy, I hope they're pertinent. And secondly, I want to thank Jim Miller and Bill Keck for nominating me to be included with so many prominent names here in Butler County. I retired 13 years ago, and until tonight, I pretty much forgot all about the various projects and organizations I was involved with over the years. When I was elected president of the Fairfield Chamber of Commerce way back in the 80s, I was surrounded by so many talented, hardworking people, and at the end of the term, I was the guy that got the plaque. Then when I became president and later chairman of AMCA International in Chicago, I was again surrounded by a dedicated, hardworking staff and board, and at the end of my terms, I got the plaque, and later a gavel as chairman. Again, when a group of us got together, Sally said gentlemen, but Sally was heavily involved in this Fairfield Community Foundation, and I was asked to be the first president. And again, I was surrounded with so many hardworking, dedicated people. And at the end of that, I got the plaque. During my 31 years at American Fan, I was associated with the finest, hardest working, and dedicated employees. Many of them are here this evening, and I didn't know they were coming. And when I retired, they all chipped in and gave me a gold watch. It's still ticking. My point is that very few people succeed on their own. And it's a bit humbling to get all this recognition when all the heavy lifting was done by the folks with whom I was associated. I just wish they were all here to take credit for what they accomplished. And lastly, and most importantly, I need to thank my wife, Marion, the love of my life. During my working career, I was on the road 90 to 100 nights a year. And while I was out whining, dining, and peddling fans to customers and potential customers, Marion was getting up early, fixing breakfast, getting the kids off to school, going to her job at American Fan for 20 years, then running from one soccer field to another so that all the kids got equal time, then fixing dinner, doing washing and ironing and the housework. Then when I'd get home late on a Friday night, I thought maybe I'd get a plaque. I'm still waiting for that one. We celebrated our 55th wedding anniversary back in June, and we've always had pretty open lines of communication. until junior achievement came along. Over the years, I kept an office at home, and I kept pretty good detailed records on the various organizations I belonged to and details on American Fan. Then a few months ago, with junior achievement, everything changed. For example, the phone would ring and she'd say, "It's Susan Lucio, I'll take it in the other room." I'd say, "What's for lunch today?" "You're on your own, I've got a meeting with Susan Lucio." Then she'd spend what seemed like hundreds of hours in the office with the door shut, rooting through my old files that I should have thrown away years ago. One day the phone rang, and of course I only heard one end of the conversation. "Hi, yes, yes, okay." Then she rushes into the office and comes out with a packet of paper and goes out the front door and hands it to a mysterious car that quickly drives off. I was convinced then that I probably married a CIA agent. But to say that I was surprised by the outcome of this event tonight would be a major understatement. So congratulations to all the other honorees, past and present, and many thanks to all the folks who were involved in tonight's program. I'll remember it fondly for the rest of my days. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Now to induct our next laureate is Rick Theater's son, Jonathan.
Rick Theaters, dad, mentor, and friend. When I look back at Rick's career and the influence he's had on so many lives, it makes me unbelievably proud to be his son. I know I speak for our family, our coworkers, his insurance company, relationships, and his thousands of clients in saying that my dad is one of the most honest, trustworthy, and giving people to ever step foot on this earth. He is always willing to stop whatever he is doing to help anyone at any time. Insurance people aren't necessarily known for being risk takers, but I'm glad that he took a risk 36 years ago in purchasing the Jim Clark Insurance Agency. And I'm grateful that Cincinnati Insurance Company took a risk in appointing a young entrepreneur, starting his business with one employee and at 29 years old. And I'm grateful that 15 years ago, he took a risk in hiring me and becoming a family business. Thank you for your commitment to mentoring me through my career. Whether it's nurturing family businesses, helping the youth of tomorrow gain a better education, or introducing and helping people deepen their relationship with Jesus Christ, Rick Theaters is always there as a friend, a mentor, and my dad. I'm so very proud of you for this honor, and your family and friends love you too.
Richard Rick Theaters was born a native Cincinnatian on September 14, 1947. He was the youngest of two children raised by Betty and Ray Theaters. Through his childhood, Rick attended grade school at Mount Healthy before graduating from Mount Healthy High School in 1966. Rick then proceeded to attend the University of Cincinnati College of Business. While there, Rick majored in insurance before ultimately earning his BA in 1970. Following his graduation, Rick became a field sales representative for Midwestern Indemnity Insurance Company. It wasn't long, though, before Rick would make a move that would change his life and the lives of many others in Butler County. In 1977, after calling on agents throughout southern Ohio, Rick found himself with the unique opportunity to purchase the Jim Clark Insurance Agency. This was the beginning of Clark Theaters Insurance. Currently, Rick is the chairman of the board of Risk Source Clark Theaters, a Westchester-based firm focused on risk management and insurance for business and personal clients. The success of Risk Source Clark Theaters over the last 60 years is largely attributable to Rick's dedication and drive.
But I think at the very bottom, his employees, his family, and his clients, he always will do what's best for them, not necessarily what's best for himself.
The company began with Rick and one employee. Yet from those first days of just 2 associates, Clark Theaters has expanded to a sizable 22 employees. What's more is that RiskSource Clark Theaters is widely considered a market leader in service to its customers.
He's been a trustworthy business associate, almost a business partner, the way we've operated with him through the years.
This customer-friendly climate is largely due to Rick's own qualifications and tendencies. Not only is Rick a certified insurance counselor, but he's committed to his coworkers, clients, and community. Perhaps the most important aspect of his client relations is Rick's unwavering belief that doing the right thing every day is the cornerstone of a successful agency, constantly leading by example.
One thing when I first started, he always told me, he said, always do the right thing. Do what's right for the client first, and everything else always works out.
Rick's people-oriented approach is not only limited to the operation of his business, though. Rather, Rick applies the same fervor for others into all aspects of his life, as witnessed by his substantial role in and commitment to his community. Rick's community involvement is exemplified with passion for supporting advancements of technical education and how it partners with the business community, shining through in a variety of forms. Among these are his former position as the chairman of the National Association of Career and Technical Education Business Partnership Board, and his current role as the chairman of the Great Oaks School District Business Advisory Board.
At graduation, he's given out keychains to our graduates to let them know how proud the business community is of their work. He doesn't just tell us that he supports education, he supports education through his actions.
Rick has also been described as a strong man of faith, actively involving himself with his church, Trinity Lutheran Church in Mount Healthy, Ohio. There he served as a Sunday school and confirmation teacher for over 20 years.
He's a man of faith, and he's a walking example of what he believes. And you see that in every aspect of his life, business and personal.
Still, Rick's community involvement continues, including his seats on the board of directors for St. Joseph Home and serving as a family guide on the Next Generation Committee for UC's Gehring Center for Family and Private Business. Furthermore, Rick has always invested his time into the community's youth. He was a president of the Joyce Park BMX track through the 80s. Each year, he offers a summer internship opportunity for 2 high school or college students. And his home and daycare retreat center, Whispering Woods, is host to many youth events headed up by the likes of the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and many church youth groups. The most clear mark of Rick's commitment to the community may be the CTIA Cares program, which allows all RiskSource Clark Theaters associates 30 paid hours a year to volunteer their time to any nonprofit organization of their choice. This creates quite an impact if you consider that's an estimated 600 hours of service to the community each year. The program empowers their associates to share their specific gifts and talents in the areas that interest them most.
I've always been of the belief, and my dad as well, that we're blessed to live in this country. We're blessed to live in this town. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, we've all, to live in the United States of America is pretty darn good. And so giving back to the community has to be a part of everyone. And so the CARES program was really started out to say, what can we give?
Impressively, Rick has still found a way to be the ideal family man, a superb father to his 3 children, Jonathan, Maggie, and Chris, and a committed husband to his wife, Ann.
Whenever I'm with Rick, he tells me about Ann and the kids and his grandkids. He tells me that his interest in education is because of his grandchildren. He wants for all children what he wants for his grandchildren, so he's taken an active role in education because of that.
When asked to describe why Rick deserves this honor, friends, family members, and business partners all had the same thing to say.
My dad as a businessman is the best.
Oh, he's not a one-dimensional person. I think he is complete.
Rick, thank you for all that you have done for the Butler County community. Through your hard work and dedication, you've more than earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome Rick Theaters to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.
Come on up, Rick.
Well, the person you saw in that film really was me all through those generations, and I've changed somewhat over those years. First off, I want to thank It's just a pleasure to be part of this evening and to be part of the other inductees today, and to be part of the listing of past laureates is just indeed an honor. I also want to thank Junior Achievement, Carol, for your efforts in this and sponsoring the Butler County Hall of Fame, for Patty Alderson and her nomination, and for the selection committee. For 41 years, I have lived and worked in Butler County, raising our family and building our business. Before and during those years, I was thankful and blessed with parents, and if you read the bio, chose to adopt me, as I was indeed born in a car on Hamilton Avenue in Springfield Township. Pretty cool thing. So Ray and Betty Theaters chose to adopt me. They raised me in a loving home with Christian values, a strong work ethic, setting examples of helping and serving others. I had friends who kept me out of most of the trouble as I was growing up. I was blessed with my high school sweetheart, lovely and loving, patient, supporting, understanding wife, Ann, of 45 years. We raised our 3 children, Chris, Jonathan, Maggie, in Fairfield and Westchester, and we're so very proud of all of their accomplishments. As a fireman, paramedic, and now assistant chief, sports coaches in numerous sporting events, leaders in community activities, business organizations, and the arts, volunteers for local animal adoption efforts, and various fundraising benefits. They blessed us with 6 fantastic grandchildren who have been raised with the understanding of the value of education, hard work, and compassion for others. Jimmy, Samantha, Lexi, Lily, Christian, and Olivia, thank you for sharing this evening with me. And there is indeed nothing better than being a grandparent. As I reflected on this evening, I realized that the mission, vision, and core values of Junior Achievement are aligned with those that we stand for. That is, having a positive impact on the lives of others and guided by the belief in the boundless potential of youth. The core values of Junior Achievement is a passion for honesty, integrity, excellence in what we do, a commitment to the principles of entrepreneurship and the power of partnerships, belief in the value of education and the motivation of hands-on learning, respect for the talents, creativity, perspectives, and backgrounds of all persons. Yes, I've been blessed with people in my life that have directed, supported, cared for me, educated me, picked me up when I have stumbled, and guided me to life and service of others. Our resource, Clark Theaters, started in 1977, as was mentioned, with really 3 employees, and now has grown to 22 in our Westchester office. We serve 3,800 plus customers, looking after their personal and business needs and assets, with strong alliances like Cincinnati Insurance Company, also a Butler County company, business here. We help those customers sleep better at night, knowing that they are protected should some misfortune occur. So I am proud of my business family. We couldn't have achieved what we did without them. Thank you. We've always encouraged giving back to our communities with time, talent, and treasure. And as mentioned, Jonathan formalized the effort by creating the Clark Theaters Cares program, where each associate is given 30 hours of paid time annually to serve a nonprofit that touches their heart. Junior Achievement is just one of those served. Since formalized in 2007, Clark Theaters Cares program has provided over 4,200 hours of help. I figured it out, but that's 1.5 years of 8-hour work days that we've been able to give back to nonprofits. So thank you again, everyone at Clark Theaters. Now, we share this story about the Clark Theaters Cares as often as we can to groups like this. So now I issue a challenge to you and to your business to create a similar cares commitment. Think of the difference that you can make by allowing your employees just 1 day, 8 hours a year of time to offer to a nonprofit. We will be glad to share the details of this program with you, and we'll be glad to help you start it. Now, this brings me to my final thoughts for this evening. With all that is going on in this country, in our communities, in this world, it almost seems overwhelming. to the point that what possible difference could I make? It's too big of a problem, too great of a need. I just can't make a difference. Oh, yes, I can, and you can too. The only thing that we can control is our efforts and the choices that we make in the way that we live our life and the respect that we show for others. A commitment to do just one more thing to make a difference for someone. Something as little as donating an hour of time to our church, to our children's school, or other nonprofit group, again, like Junior Achievement, donating a canned good or a used clothing item to a free store, giving $1 or more to a needy organization, buying a cookie, a candy bar, or a bag of popcorn from a young entrepreneur, picking up a piece of trash in the parking lot, help clean up our community. For you see, it's just that simple. We all need to be mindful of the needs of others, to love God, and to love and serve neighbor. Thank you.
I understand Captain Gaduli is here to introduce his father. He didn't make it? Okay, then my script is wrong. Somebody want to introduce John Gaduli? Please. That was uncomfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm used to it. Thank you.
You bet.
Well, I'm not Captain Gaduli, but I feel like I'm close. I'm pretty important. No. I'm pleased to be able to introduce my dad, John Gaduli, for the introduction to the Butler County Junior Achievement Hall of Fame. My dad has taught my brothers and me about the importance of service and giving back to our community. My oldest brother, Tony, is a police officer in Lexington, Kentucky, and my brother, Andy, is a captain in the United States Army. He recently returned from a deployment in Afghanistan and was supposed to make this introduction this evening, but his flight from Georgia was delayed, so I got pressed into service. Much of what I have learned about service came from my parents. I know my dad is committed to service to his family, his employer, and his community. As a result of his influence, my brothers and I share a commitment to give back and make a difference in the lives of others. I hope that you will join me in learning a little more about my dad and welcoming him into the JA Hall of Fame.
John Gaduli was born October 4th, 1960, to Mary and Angelo Mike Gaduli. As a child, John very much enjoyed family vacations, a trait that has followed him through to today. For high school, John attended Bishop Brossard High School. After graduation, John attended Northern Kentucky University. John later furthered his education by seeking out a graduate's degree from NKU's Salmon P. Chase College of Law. Inspired by his parents and siblings to get involved with his community, joining the staff at the Hamilton Community Foundation was a natural fit for him. John joined the Hamilton Community Foundation in 1999 and has served as president and CEO since 2001. The Hamilton Community Foundation is widely respected and recognized for its leadership and integrity. Its programs, projects, and grants have covered every corner of the community, and it has partnered with many other organizations on causes and projects. Under his dynamic leadership, the foundation has experienced steady growth.
John is devoted to the Hamilton Community Foundation 110%. But I've got to say the Community Foundation is also devoted to Hamilton and vicinity 110%.
I don't think John is typical. He's pretty extraordinary. And our foundation's direction in recent years is also pretty extraordinary.
Its current assets exceed $80 million, and many new donor funds have been added to the foundation's pool. A rough estimate of these new donor funds places the growth at over 500. What's more is that during John's tenure as president and CEO, more than $58 million have been awarded in grants and $63 million in gifts have been given to benefit the community.
But John, as the individual that is the quarterback, so to speak, has a very unique ability to have enough vision to understand just to see where we need to go and how to get us there.
John is personally responsible for the spearheading of new and creative programs and objectives throughout the community. Similarly, John has led the foundation in economic development activities and projects, including the Mercantile Buildings, the Journal News Building transformation, and the River's Edge project. John has been instrumental in each of these projects. In fact, John's involvement has become somewhat synonymous with positive developments throughout Hamilton.
If you look at anything in the last 10 years that's happened in Hamilton, Ohio in a very positive manner, John quietly has his fingerprints on those projects.
John's first economic development project left a lasting, visible impact on the community. John was tasked with leading the process of acquiring and selling the former Hamiltonian Hotel.
I realized that our hotel was getting to the point that something was going to have to be done. And I was made aware of a meeting of the stakeholders at the time. And I called John and I said, John, I think we need to go to this meeting and just listen. The silence on the other end of the phone was deafening. I could hear crickets. And eventually he said, oh, okay, we're just gonna listen, right? And I said, yes, John, we're just gonna listen. And we ended up going to that meeting and listening and realized that there was nobody else that was really gonna take on that role but the foundation at the time.
John was wildly successful, raising more than $6 million to make the new Courtyard by Marriott possible. To many, this success epitomizes John's get-it-done-right attitude. John has also achieved great success behind the scenes. Without John, the operational aspects of the Community Foundation would not be as well organized as they are today. Through his leadership and support of the Board of Trustees, John has developed and implemented a strategic plan to provide a roadmap to continued growth. Furthermore, John has created a formalized grant application process.
John helped us develop a way to include our grantees in our grant process by understanding what their projects were, what their needs were, and basically what the community needed.
For John, giving back to the community is more than just a job. This deep conviction is demonstrated by John's repeated service to the city of Hamilton in a variety of ways. He is a past chairman of the board of the Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce and the Hamilton Economic Development Corporation. He is a founding board member of the Core Fund, the new consortium for ongoing reinvestment efforts. He is a member of the City Manager's Blue Ribbon Committee and a board member and past vice chairman of the Hamilton Vision Commission. He also chairs Hamilton Rotary Club's Philanthropic Committee. What's more, John also served as a member of the St. Peter and Chains Church Finance Council, the Hamilton City Schools Business Advisory Council, the Hamilton City Schools Redistricting Committee, and the Greater Hamilton Fairfield Catholic Education Collaborative. John and his wife Judy have been married for over 31 years. They are the proud parents of Tony, Andy, and Michael, and doting grandparents of Ella, Eli, and Easton. Just as he loved family vacations growing up, John now shares that love of travel and the beach with his children and grandchildren. John's positive impact on the community has left his peers with nothing but positive things to say about his work ethic, intellect, and attitude.
He stands out as someone who cares about his community and wants to make a difference and does make a difference.
Without John's talent, we would have had real problems.
John, thank you for all that you have done for the Butler County community. Through your hard work and dedication, you've more than earned the honor granted to you this evening. Welcome, John Gaduli, to the Greater Butler County Business Hall of Fame.
Okay, I want to thank Junior Achievement and the Business Hall of Fame for this honor. It's especially nice to be recognized in such an outstanding group of individuals as the other honorees who are here tonight. It's really overwhelming. A little over 104 years ago, in June of 1909, my paternal grandparents, Maddalena Monti and Giuseppe Gaduli, were married in a small church in a small town in Italy. Soon after their marriage, they began their immigration journey to the United States, arriving in New York City on July 3rd, 1909, just in time for their first 4th of July celebration. From there, they boarded a train to their future home in the Cincinnati area. I often think about that and how grateful I am for the opportunity that they presented to me and my family through their courage and sense of adventure in making that trip in 1909. And as I thought about this award this evening, those same thoughts came to mind. Just how grateful I am for the opportunities that I have been presented with throughout my life. In addition to my paternal and my maternal grandparents, I'm certainly grateful for my parents, the late Mike and Mary Gaduli, for providing me with a variety of opportunities. They created a home that provided everything we needed and some of what we wanted, and also instilled in me and my siblings a desire to give back. I'm also grateful for the support of my siblings who are here this evening, my brothers Mike, Dave, and Dan, and my sister Mary Ann. I'm the youngest of the 5, and my brothers and sister always liked to point out growing up that I was probably spoiled. I usually deny that, but being here tonight, I'll probably acknowledge that they were right. I'm also thankful tonight that some of my brothers and sister-in-law were able to be here for this event. I'm especially grateful for all of the opportunities I received related to my education, my employment, community outreach, and volunteer opportunities. And as I stand here this evening, I continue to be amazed at the opportunities presented to me through my employment at the Hamilton Community Foundation, an organization that has a significant impact in our community every day. And we have that impact because we have a visionary board, we have a dedicated staff, generous donors, and collaborative community partners. Because of those, the foundation makes a real difference in this area. The foundation has allowed me to meet and become friends with so many people, many who are here this evening, including those who nominated me for this honor, those who helped plan this event, and those folks in the video who said such nice things about me. Thank you. Every day I'm also grateful for the opportunities that I'm given through my children, my sons Tony, Andy, and Michael, daughter-in-law Mackenzie, and grandchildren Ella, Eli, and Easton. Lastly, I'm tremendously grateful for the opportunities I've had with my best friend, my life partner, my wife Judy. Thank you all very much. Thank you for this recognition, and thank you for all of the opportunities. I am truly grateful.
Thanks, Mike, for stepping in. You saved me. Junior Achievement is proud to honor our 5 laureates tonight. They have helped make the greater Butler County area a greater community to live in and to work. Tonight we've honored business leaders past and present whose achievements serve as an inspiration for future generations. Their stories are archived at the Lane Public Library, dedicated to the memory of Eric Scruggs, a JA advocate and a chairman that passed way too young. Many thanks to all the sponsors as well that contributed to tonight's success. The guest reception sponsor, Risk Source Clark Theaters, and all the table and contributing sponsors listed in your evening's program. Thank you to Moonbeam Studios, the company that produced the wonderful vignettes that you saw here tonight. In addition to these, we had many other sponsors that had contributed. Please take a moment to acknowledge our other generous sponsors listed in the program, and thanks so much for your support. Special thanks also to our host, Carol Lucio. Finally, congratulations to everyone here for having the good sense to come tonight and be honored by the presence of 78 Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame laureates. Now, I didn't introduce 78, but they're in the air tonight. They've all been honored previously and tonight. Adlai Stevenson said, "Live decently, fearlessly, joyfully," as all of them have. And don't ever forget that in the long run, it is not the years in your life, but the life in your years that counts. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our evening. Safe travels. Good night.